They're working.
We're on.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Kosciuszko County Board of Zoning Appeals. The way we conduct our meeting is Matt Sandy, the director, will call your case. As he calls your case, come to the microphone, give us your name and any pertinent information that you think we need to make a decision on your case. Then we'll ask if there's anyone here in favor of your petition. And then we'll ask if anybody's here opposed to it. And we'll close the meeting to public comment and we'll make a decision. Okay, Matt?
Okay, just a couple other things. First and foremost, if you do have a cell phone, please put it on silent if you could. It does get a little distracting at times. Otherwise, if your project is approved and it does require a permit, they don't know what's happening in the office right now, so you can pull your permits as early as this afternoon, assuming you have everything in hand and in line. Otherwise, anytime after this today, you can work on pulling permits. With that, then, we can start from the top of the agenda, and we do have a couple continued cases. The first one we've got is continuance of variance 2025-150 for Hardy Look, and this is a petition to variance which would permit the construction of a residence addition 29 feet from the water's edge. Property is located on the north side of North Road and 108 feet east of County Road 800 East in Turkey Creek Township. The other thing I should have mentioned too, when we do call your case, please come forward, be ready to speak into the mic, helps things move on a little quicker. Randy, right here is the property in question. We're on North Road. You'll see the site plan right there. Video shot right there is the petitioner's house. Okay, we're on the channel side. What they're proposing is an addition that will come out. And if you see the site plan with the yellow, they're wanting to square off that peak and see how the house comes to a point. Looking around and back to the petitioner's property in question right there. He is in there. There's no.
In his favorite tree.
That's all right. No, for this hearing, legal ad did properly appear in the newspaper and notices have gone out to the adjoining property owners. We're ready to go.
Hey. Name?
Marlise West.
And yeah, we want to straighten or square out the house with peak to give us more footage inside, 5 foot right and left. And then to the same time, I like to do the peak from the roof. I know it is for out, but it exists over 50 years now. And I want to straighten this roof out too.
Okay.
So basically looking there, both sides come out, square off, roof peak squares off as well then. Okay.
No more further than it's been, so.
Yeah, no farther out than what the peak comes to now.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone here in favor of this project? Anyone here opposed?
Nothing on file.
We'll close the meeting to public comment and go ahead and approve it as presented. Okay?
Just when you're ready, come in and get a permit.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, next case we can take up is continuance of variance 2025-165 for Donald Rice. And this petition for a variance which permit the construction of a residence addition 19 feet from the north right-of-way. Existing shed will be removed. Property is located on the north side of T42B lane and 0 feet south of EMS T42A lane in Tippecanoe Township. Randy, right there is the property in question. What the petitioner is wanting to do is construct a residence addition on this side of the house. What they're proposing is that shed goes new addition. They're indicating will be 19 feet from the road right away. You can see where we're at on the north side, panning around. North side does give access, even though the houses on that side do front on the county road, they get access, a lot of them off this back side here. You can see looking around, newer garage right there. Petitioner shed right there. Next shot, just give me a little different perspective. So panning around right through here. And in between, so if you can imagine addition coming out to roughly where the shed is now. For this hearing, legal ad did properly appear in the newspaper and by affidavit. Surrounding owners were notified for the original hearing. We are good to go.
Your name?
Donald Rice, R-I-C-E.
Okay.
Donald, do you know exactly where your right-of-way line is? I know we kind of talked about that a little bit.
It's a bit nebulous,
Okay,
but we will get it surveyed.
okay.
So do we want to have it surveyed before a permit's issued or?
You could go ahead and approve it at 19 with the condition that a survey is provided. That way, if it is, great, we'll issue the permit. If not, then he'll have to either decide to cut back the addition or come back.
Okay. Is there anyone here in favor of this project? Anyone here opposed?
Nothing on file.
We'll close the meeting to public comment. We'll go ahead and approve it at 19 feet.
Thank you so much.
If a survey shows different, then you'll have to adjust it
I
to.
understand. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Next continued case is continuance of variance 2025-174 for Patrick Malloy. And this is a petition for variance which permit the construction of two decks, one at 2 feet from the water's edge and the one at 10 feet from the water's edge. Property is located on the south side of County Road 650 North and 0 feet southwest of 600 North in Tippecanoe Township. We're just west of where the old Baptist camp was. This farm field, this area has been split up into long tracks that go from 650 down to the water's edge. Right here is petitioner's property. We're up on top of the actually hill with the petitioner's main building right there. Panning around 650 would be directly north. Coming back around down the hill, you can see the lake in the background. Next shot's down by the lake right here. So if you look at the site plan, this is where those proposed decks will be going. We did have hearings for that building right there at one point. Panning around over that way towards where the Baptist camp used to be and back around to the property in question. We'll freeze it right there. For the hearing, legal ad did properly appear in the newspaper and by affidavit surrounding owners notified. Let me So it's going to be all one deck with different tiers. This one shows it the best, Randy. So actually, let me back up. So right, yeah. You can see this is a shed, so those are going to be to the west of that, and then another one coming out right through there. That's Bear Freeze.
Okay. Your name?
Patrick Malloy.
What's going on?
Yeah, we just want to put some sitting areas or up out of the grass. There's some wetlands there, so there's snakes and stuff crawling around, so just elevating a little bit off the ground for sitting areas.
Your circular ones, because it's all one, but it's kind of stair stepping, is that?
Yeah, there's like 3 different levels, so the one that'd be closest to the water would be highest up.
About how high?
About 6 feet, so go 2, 4, and 6 is kind of
Okay.
what we're looking at right now.
Okay.
And that'd be to the left of the shed.
About where that tree is.
About to come down anyway, so. And the other one is to the right, obviously.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone here in favor of this project? Anyone here opposed?
Nothing on file.
Close the meeting to public comment, and I'm going to go ahead and approve it as presented, but it will remain open. No covers can ever be put on it.
Correct.
No roof, no sides, no nothing. Okay? You're welcome.
All right, next case is exception 2025-66 from Mark Clausen, and this petition for exception for the purpose of allowing a shed to remain on a residential tract until new residence is placed by 2027 in a residential district. Property is located on the south side of D13 Lane and 468 feet south of 1000 North in Van Buren Township. Right there's property in question, Randy, and that is the accessory building we're talking about. Obviously, little older shed built into the hill there. Petitioner did have a house on this property at one time. House has since been removed, and you'll see the foundation here as we pan around, looking right through there. So house is gone. Under the ordinance, in order to have an accessory building, we do have to have a residence or have approval through the Board of Zoning Appeals. Panning around to the houses adjacent, we're on that little lane that comes down off of, you know where I'm at.
Yeah.
So again, question is to allow that to remain without a house until at least 2027. For this hearing, legal ad did properly appear in the newspaper and by affidavit surrounding owners were notified.
Okay. Morning.
Matt Clausen. We bought the property in 2023. The house was an eyesore. The only thing that was new on it was the blue roof, and you can see that shed has that same blue roof. However, there was severe water damage in the house. There was animals living in the house. We decided it needed to come down. So we cleaned it all up, cleaned up the driveway, and we also then maintained the property with the lawnmower that we store in the shed. I don't know if I even want to call it a shed. It's more like a root cellar because it's built into the hill. It'll almost be more of a detriment to the property if we tear it down, and it would also be kind of dangerous because there'd be a big gaping hole there. So our intentions are to either sell the property or build on the property. We haven't figured out what. We're just kind of waiting to see what the market does.
So you know 2027. So is your plan to build on it by then if you
Yeah.
can't sell it? And
Yes.
if you're looking at, are you looking at selling to one of the adjacents, to a third party, or just whoever? It's okay.
Talking about selling it, now that creates a different problem.
You could approve it with a condition that a house is on the property by 2027. And then if not, either they or the new owners would have to come in.
Okay.
That would be one option.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Is there anyone here in favor of this project? Anyone here opposed to it?
Nothing on file.
Concludes the meeting, public comment. I'll go ahead and approve it with the condition that some sort of house has got to be built by the 2027.
And that's not really that far off anymore. Do you want we've got the pictures. Do you want this back? Okay.
This is the previous awning structure.
Okay. All right. Next case is variance 2025-178 for Robert Koger, and this petition for variance which permit allowing a covered deck damaged by storm to remain as placed 11.75 feet to an adjacent home. Property is located on the northeast side of D61D lane and 0 feet northeast of EMS D61 lane in Tippecanoe Township. Right there is the petitioner's property. Here's an aerial showing where we're at. Let me get you north side up so that gives you a little bit of perspective. The little mobile home park right up in between the D60 and D61 lanes up off as we go out to the points. Right back in here, this park itself has not had the blanket that we've given others with 10-foot separations. So what happened, and I'm like, he'll explain a little bit more about the damage, but ultimately, if they rebuilt the exact same thing within 6 months of the damage, they could have done that without a permit. This one went a little longer, no permits were obtained, and now we're in asking to allow it to remain. Right there is the porch in question. You can see the new construction panning around. Excuse me. This park does have pretty good separation. Back around. And back there. Next shot's going to be at the back corner, just giving you a little different perspective there, Randy. That's the closest point right there as it angles away. See, again, at that point, 11.75 feet from the other adjacent unit. For this hearing, legal ad did properly appear in the newspaper and by affidavit. Surrounding owners were notified.
So my name is Robert. I'm applying for a variance on behalf of the Bill Committee. He said that the awning was damaged in a storm. I bought it from a nurse who got very busy during COVID and kind of felt prepared inside, so I had to do some things inside of what we were looking for before I started using it. Started on the outside, covered the physical patio, put the awning back in place, try to maintain the same footprint that we had before. You guys pictured this in the previous bill. Pictures of similar properties in the park. Properties. I think the only concern would be access if there were services or emergency services required to maintain the same footprint as previous
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone here in favor of this project?
I'm in favor of it. I'm actually in adjacent.
Okay, you want to come up and give your name and
Sure. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Commissioner. And Director Sandy, good to see you again, sir.
Yes.
I'm actually the ground owner, and I also own the majority of the surrounding property. When we purchased that park in 2018, 2019, there was actually a chain link fence that went across there, and it was in terrible disrepair. The trailer was in bad disrepair. Megan Coulter she was a COVID nurse, as Robert mentioned, and she was not able to do anything. And the storm damaged it did have what was considered an open porch. It had a metal awning, but it fell down. It was put back up several times and it just continued to fall down. When Robert purchased it, they came back in, and instead of using the metal struts that were there, that they had continued to that the previous people had tried to do, they used wood, but they put it back in the same footprint. We did from Matt, Director Sandy has always asked us to improve setbacks, and we have some in the park. The worst one is 6 feet between. This one's twice as far, and we also got rid of the chain link fence that was actually blocking the entire way across. And what they did is they put a little rail on, which was different. You added that, but that's for their little dogs, so that we got rid of the fence in front and let them use that. It looks so much better, and everybody that's seen it has been really happy. I just wanted to say they did a great job. Appreciate all the support that we've had from y'all in the past.
okay, thank you. Is there anyone else in favor? Is there anyone opposed?
Nothing on file.
We'll close the meeting to public comment and go ahead and approve it as presented. And you'll have to get the permits and get that straightened around.
Good, because I didn't see that one. I'm not sure why. We're having the same issue there as we did before. Okay. Next one that we have is variance 2025-179 for Bruce and Cheryl Martin. And this is a petition for a variance which permit allowing a shed and gas tank to remain as placed 14.6 feet at closest point from the right of way of the road. Property is located on the north side of B49 lane and 347 feet west of 700 east in Tippecanoe Township. Right there's Randy's, the petitioner's house. That newer house, we did have variances for that at the time it was constructed. House was constructed, met all the required setbacks for the hearing. Since that point, petitioner did install, and evidently through construction point, had propane installed rather than natural gas. So there was a tank set. That tank was set at 14 foot, 6 inches from the right of way. Along with that was a small 8x8 shed that was placed at 16 foot from the right of way. Panning around, right there's the dead end of this road. And you can see the tank right there, shed right behind the car. As we pan around, next shot's going to show it a little bit better right there. Freeze it right there. So the shed was placed on at 16, propane tank 14.6. Petitioner does also have to address a fence, but that's going to be in a later hearing that we're going to need to talk about. So for this hearing, legal ad did properly appear in the newspaper and by affidavit surrounding owners were notified.
Steve Snyder on behalf of the petitioner. As Bruce has indicated to me, he really didn't want propane, but he also couldn't wait for NIPSCO to get a line run to him. So he was stuck with propane, hence the tank. Those tanks aren't nearly as prevalent now as they were before. But when you're stuck with it and you've got to get heat into your house, you do what you have to do. The shed was placed immediately adjacent to the garage at essentially the same setback distance. And you can see from the configuration of the lot, irregular sidelines. We didn't want to go any closer to the lake. We didn't want to go any closer to the sideline. So we said, okay, if we line it up with the garage, at least there's no interference. As Matt indicated, we're on a dead end road. So we'd like to leave both of them exactly as they are.
Hey, thank you, Steve. Is there anyone here in favor of this project?
You do have a letter on file from Nancy and Joe. So I'm assuming in favor.
In favor?
Yes.
Okay. Anyone opposed?
Therefore, you got somebody else in favor.
You want to come up and give your name and?
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Greg Mitchell, and I live across kind of cattywampus from where the Martins live. And first thing I'd like to say is thank you for sitting on the board and all the other board members for doing this. It's a thankless job. And it's a lot of reading and a lot of ordinance knowing. So I appreciate you doing that for us lay people out here. I'd also like to thank the Martins. They made one heck of an improvement for not only for themselves, for a retirement house, but also for the county in the situation of tax basis and that type of thing. So this has been a great improvement for our neighborhood. And in doing so, I think there were some unintended consequences during the construction, which has brought these items up. And, you know, I don't see any health and safety issues unless there's other remonstrance that would indicate that. The only other thing I would say is, and I know Matt, I don't think that the county has an occupancy certificate requirement. And to go along with that, had that been the case, had we had that, then this might have been caught at that time, possibly. Same way with the building inspector. If we had a building inspector, this might have caught it. So I'm not saying that you guys don't do a great job. I'm just saying that, you know, things get slipped between the cracks. So unless there is a health and safety issue here, I would hope that it can stand as it is.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Hello. My name's Donna Burke, and I live right next door to the Martins, and I don't see any problem with what they have there.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Anyone against? We'll close the meeting, public comment. Go ahead and approve it as presented on both of them, the shed and the tank.
And Steve, they will need to get flood development permits, so they'll need to come in and take care of that. All right. Next one we can hear is variance 2025-180 for Kevin Gingrich. And this petition for variance which permit enclosing a deck 27 foot from the water's edge and 43 feet from the road right of way. The property is located on the west side of 600 West and 1,287 feet south of 850 South in Seward Township. Hoffman Lake Campground down off of, or not Hoffman Lake, I'm sorry, Todd Hoffman's campground down off of
Yellow Creek Lake.
Yellow Creek. I'm going to get it eventually. We're on one of those southern lakes.
Yeah.
Right there is the property in question. And you can see the deck that's sitting out there. What they are wanting to do is enclose that deck. And some question on whether or not we had permits on that or not, we have to look, but ultimately enclose that existing deck. And that will be within 47 feet or 27 feet from the water's edge. There's a water edge. You'll see that in the video. And then 43 feet from the right of way. In parks such as this, it should be 50 off the road right of way. Panning around, right there is your channel that's coming in. Little ditch, actually county regulated drain. They do have setback variance granted from that, from the drainage board. So that's where your setback to the side is coming in at 27. Here's the main county road. Again, 43 feet from the main county road. Obviously, the unit itself is sitting quite a bit closer. Panning around. Back around. You're there. Next shot's just going to be down below. So again, you can imagine that deck being enclosed. For this hearing, legal ad did properly appear in the newspaper and by affidavit. Surrounding owners were notified.
So my name is Kevin Gingrich, and actually my site plan is a little different than what was described. It was to actually build a 15 by 22 deck.
Okay.
And enclose that as well.
Okay. Coming off that deck and coming even with the back of the house.
Correct, which is
Okay.
35
Yeah,
feet off the right of way.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, sorry. So that's what we were looking at. We do have a surveyor's variance already. They used the previous owner's variance or the previous tenant's variance for that. I do have a flood development permit already for this. The deck will be, the bottom layer will be 38 inches off of ground level to satisfy the floodplain permit because it is in a floodplain. It will match the open flow design underneath and all of that good stuff. The goal is to have it enclosed with windows and a roof. So that's where we're at today.
Kevin, the temporary pergola thing out there, does that go?
That goes away.
Good.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to improve the look of the property. We're one of the nicest trailers in the place, but yeah.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone here in favor of this project? Anyone here opposed?
Nothing on file.
Close the meeting, public comment, and go ahead and approve it as presented.
Thank you very much.
Just whenever.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah. All right. Next case is variance 2025-181 for David Detweiler. And this petition for a variance which permit the construction of an agricultural accessory building 14 foot from the east property line. Property's located on the north side, 950 north and 3,700 feet east of State Road 19 in Scott Township. Right there is the petitioner's property in question. You can see the existing barn. Per the survey, that existing barn sits 14 feet off the east property line. If you look at the petitioner's site plan, right there up in the northeast corner, and we're going to pan around just about where the camper's sitting, they want to put an addition in line with that east line. Again, that'll end up being 14 foot from the side property line there. For this hearing, legal ad did properly appear in the newspaper and by affidavit. Surrounding owners were notified.
David Detweiler, and trying to, put a, somewhere in the area of a 40 by 41 addition, lean to, like you said, off the north side out toward the camper there. There's an open area. It would stay even with the end of this side and just go straight out for cold storage, just for trailers and tools.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone here in favor of this project? Anyone here opposed?
Nothing on file.
Close the meeting, public comment. Since it's going straight back in line with the old barn, we'll approve it.
Thank you.
All right, next case is variance 2025-182 for Doreen Iot and Alan Blanken. Blahnik, all right.
And it's Ayat.
Ayat, see, I screwed them both up. Petition for variance which would permit allowing the construction of a detached garage 6 feet from the sideline. Property is located on the north side, North Shore Drive, and 1,000 feet east of Shore Lane in Turkey Creek Township. Randy, right there is the property, petitioner's property. They have 123 by 191 lot. Minimum setback in a residential lot that size should be 10 feet off the sideline. They're asking, again, for 6 foot from the side. If you can imagine, straight back, based off the site plan, is pretty well where the garage will be going. Panning around down towards the golf course on the north side. You know exactly where we're at.
Yeah, I know
Yep.
exactly.
Back around to the petitioner's property in question. Right there. And there's actually a vacant lot in between that and the next house. So it is a little deceiving there, but ultimately what they're asking for is 36 by 24 detached accessory building 6 feet from the side property line.
It's gonna go about where the old shed is.
It'll be
Want to keep the
12
shed.
feet
Yes.
distance between the building and that shed.
So just for the hearing, legal idea properly appear and affidavit was presented to surrounding owners. Is there any way to get it over 4 foot?
Now, we want to try and keep it centered on the driveway, so it'd be easier to back the boat into it. If we shift over 4 feet, it's going to be kind of hugging behind the house a little bit.
At the southeast corner, is that a porch or is that just port? Right there. I couldn't tell what that.
Oh, that would just be the sidewalk to get to the service door.
Okay. It's up to you. Yeah.
Who owns the empty lot beside you?
The people across the street in that yellow house,
No,
And they
and
didn't.
all they ever use it for is parking for holiday weekends.
I can understand that.
Until they decide they need a pole barn.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Is there anyone here in favor of this project?
Me.
Anyone here opposed?
Nothing on file.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and approve it. It's 6 foot,
Thank you.
Thank you.
okay?
Mm. All right. Next case is variance 2025-183 for Dana Plekas, and this is a petition which will permit the alteration of a granted exception 2024-125 by allowing a roof over an existing platform 4 foot 5 inches from the next unit. Property is located on the north side of 4th Street and 140 feet east of State Road 13 in Tippecanoe Township. Right there's petitioner's property. We're in Joyland.
Yeah.
Joyland, we have had some hearings with some different conditions. They get sign-offs from adjacents, the park owners, but still have to either meet the setback 10 foot or have relief. In this case, what they're asking for is enclosing a deck area, and we'll show that here in a second. Ultimately, that's the petitioner's property right there. So you're the blue, dark blue unit in the middle, panning around. Joyland, which we were just talking about, or Ventureland, just to the north. Back to the petitioner's property there. Next shot's gonna be inside, in between, showing you where that is. So if you can imagine that roof coming out in line with that existing at 4 foot 5 inches from the adjacent unit. And around neighbor's propane tank right there. Give you some perspective. And we'll freeze it right there. For this hearing, legal ad did properly appear in the newspaper and by affidavit surrounding owners were notified.
Hi,
Hi.
I'm Dana Plekas.
I'm Andy Jelinuski. I'm her fiance, and this is our property.
Yeah. We don't want to enclose it.
No,
Yeah,
just
just
put a
a
roof
roof.
over it so that we can have meals and stuff out there. And if it's raining, we'd be able to still enjoy that back
Space.
portion of the deck and be off the roadway.
And no closer than what's out there already. It's going to line up in line.
Correct. And actually, I mean, you folks have already talked about how Joyland is. I have a list of properties that actually are closer than what we're gonna be.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We're not looking to enclose it. Like I said, we just would like to be able to enjoy that back deck.
It's like if they ever catch fire, they're all going.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
I don't disagree with that. And we
Don't
purchased
say
the
that.
property 5 years ago.
Well, they packed it in there so tight.
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
There's no way.
Yeah.
Agreed,
Pretty well.
agreed.
They'll stand back and hit the ones they can.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Thank
Is
you.
there anyone here in favor of this project? Anyone here opposed?
Nothing on file.
Go ahead and approve it as presented.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for your time.
Just when you guys are ready, you'll need to come in and get permits.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
thank
Thank
you.
you.
All right, next variance is 2025-185 for Anna Boker. And this petition which permit allowing the reconstruction of a deck and repair of a foundation 23 feet from the water's edge, 12 feet from the west water's edge, and 4.5 feet from the right-of-way of the road. The property is located on the west side of B40F Lane and 1,000 feet south of B40F Lane in Tippecanoe Township. We are up off of the fingers on Sawmill, and right there's petitioner's property in question. What they're proposing is some foundation repair and then also replacing decking. So I'm guessing they're going hand in hand because of the repairs. Looking around the area, we are right at the end of that lane, down to the water's edge. Older structure that was permitted through variances right there. You can see the petitioner's decking through there. Next shot's going to be out. Okay, so if you imagine that corner right there, that's going to be 12 and a half feet from the water, and then we're 23 feet to the south. Back around to the petitioner's question, or property in question. Right there. For the hearing, legal ad did properly appear in the newspaper and by affidavit surrounding owners were notified.
Hi, I'm Anna Boucher, and I'm just asking permission to repair my foundation. On the corner, you can
see it's cracked, and this is the inside, it's coming down, and pushed 4 inches down. And then there's, what's the other picture, and that's the corner.
So-
And they're just taking up 3 or boards, is what the reconstruction is, they just gotta take those up to get, because they gotta replace blocks, 4 blocks this way and 4 blocks this way.
Just part of the foundation, not the whole
Not
thing.
the whole thing, just, you know.
Okay.
And I hope they will. Like, that I
Yeah.
should be able to replace it.
Sure, sure.
But
Okay,
anyway,
thank you. Is there anyone here in favor of this project? Anyone here opposed? We'll close the meeting, public comment. Go ahead and approve it as presented,
thank you.
as long as you're not changing the footprint.
Nope, just preventing my house from crumbling.
So just before you get started, get your permits.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next variance we have is variance 2025-186 for Ellen Irwin. Is Irwin here? Okay, we can skip that one then. With that then, we'll move right along to Palestine Baptist Bible Church, not Baptist, Bible. Variance 2025-187. And this is a petition for variance which permit the construction of an entrance to an existing church 5 feet from the west right of way. Property is located on the east side of 550 West and 0 feet south of State Road 25 in Harrison Township. We are at the, right down there, Palestine area, right? When you know exactly where I'm at there, Randy. Looking at that right there. Pull the video up right there. That is not it.
That's not.
Right there.
There it
Okay.
is.
Right there's the church in question. And if you can see that stoop area, next shot's going to show you the reason, but that stoop area is what they're proposing to enclose with a new entryway. And that will end up being 5 feet from the west right of way. That right of way is very large through there. State Road 25. As we come in. Curve. Next shot's going to give you a better perspective of what we're looking at. Right there, you can see the new lift that was installed. What they're proposing is that would come out over that area, filling in the entryway. Freeze it right there. For this hearing, legal ad did properly appear in the newspaper and by affidavit. Surrounding owners were notified.
Good morning. My name is Brett Boggs. I'm the board president for the church there. That's why I'm here. We installed that vertical lift in June. We went through all the procedures with the state to do that the right way, but it's not meant to be out in the weather. It needs to be enclosed. So what we are proposing is to put a shell over that. It's not going to expand the footprint of that area at all, but and put a roof on it as well. 200 and some square feet, I believe, is the size it will be. But we are too close, according to what the requirements are, to the property on the west or to the whatever that line is, what the right of way, yeah. And also a little too close to the cemetery on the south. And so that's why we're here.
Okay.
Just right in line with that west wall though, Brett.
Yep. Gonna actually build right on top of the concrete that's there.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you. Is there anyone here in favor of this project? Anyone here opposed?
Nothing on file.
Close it to public comment. Go ahead and prove it as presented.
And I'm working on the construction design release.
Perfect.
I need the architect working with him right now.
Good deal. As soon as you get that squared away in the state, come see us.
Okay.
All right.
That was a no-brainer.
Yeah. That's why you have it, Randy. All right, next case is exception 2025-69 for neighbors of Timber Creek. And this petition for an exception for the purpose of allowing the change and alteration of a granted exception 17106E by changing the permitted RV park model locations granted through the 2017 exception, meeting the granted setbacks of 10 feet to adjacent homes, 10 feet to the interior road in a commercial district. Property is located on the north side of 30 and 1,931 feet southeast of County Road 250 East in Wayne Township. Right there's the property in question. I'm on 30 looking to the north. That is the park. And back in 2017, they came to us and requested to be able to put some semi-transient units in there. Units would stay for about a month. And at that time, the discussion was they had some work projects going on in the area. Those owners would come in with their RV, travel with the project as it went. And once they're moving out of the area or the project was completed, the RV would disappear. But they had to stay for at least a month at that time. What they're now back asking for is to keep that, but still at the same time relocate to those areas shown on the map. If you look at the map here, Randy, blue is mobile homes, green are RV park models, and then purple is the office. So kind of spreading them out. Some of the RVs out in there look like they've become more permanent type situations, which wasn't quite what was discussed, but that's a good example right there. AC
Yes.
unit hooked in. There's some other RVs that would be back up in this area. Panning around. I'm at the back of the park right there. Well, dumpster would be okay in there. So yeah, there are a couple of units that look like they've been tagged that as hazards by the health department possibly.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, they're getting demoed this week.
Okay. Looking around. Come back around here. For this hearing, legal I did properly appear in the newspaper and by affidavit. Surrounding owners were notified.
I'm Tanya Stransky. I'm District Property Manager for Churchlight Communities. We actually are just wanting to keep all the same setbacks and zoning that they had in 2017. We bought it from the previous owner. The company would like to make the RVs more permanent structures, so have them skirted, tied down, leave them there, more of a permanent situation.
The one concern I'd have, RVs aren't meant to be permanent necessarily residents. They're not that they're, I mean, they're still manufactured. Mobile homes at least are manufactured for the instance. It looks like that some of them have kind of gone that way and are in pretty rough shape. So you're talking these would be permanent instead of putting mobile homes in. These would be the units that would take their place.
Yes, the problem what we're having is that with the mobile homes moving out, the spaces are too small.
Okay.
Really to house to meet any of the new setback rules, even with 10 feet. So they're just wanting to continue with the revenue of this structure the way that it is, and potentially that back corner, back over here. Potentially make that more permanent structure up in that.
Okay, and that's not on today's,
Not
that's
at
on
all.
the table for
Not
today.
at all. No.
Okay. So when you say permanent, like more permanent mobile homes?
Correct.
Or-
They would like to build that back up again. It actually has risers and stuff like that back in there that we would like to eventually put mobile homes back up there.
Have you talked to the state at all about your sewage?
Yeah, we're going to do all that stuff.
Okay.
But that's kind of like the look that he's looking at, the owner is, so.
Okay. And that, again, that's not on the table
No,
today,
not
so
at
that's
all.
a different discussion for a different day. So the units you have out there that have been condemned, you said those are going now?
Yeah, they're mobile homes. They're true mobile homes.
Okay. So is it, I'm just trying to, is it the length that's hitting you or the, you know?
It really is. I mean, if you can see the structures in them, like back behind, you can see how close they are even to the back.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're barely even meeting the 10-foot, let
Yeah.
alone, I mean, they're just very, very close. It's very tight fit, even for small. So we'd like to see park models come in there, which would be
So-
very, very nice. So that's why we're kind of petitioning for them to be RVs and park models to try to encourage some park models in there.
Yeah, park model, I'd say we treat the same way as a mobile home. It's just a smaller size. Yeah. It's the RV part that I think has some concern. And so intent, these would be permanent, no because that would be the other
It is not
issue would be the
transient. They are
transient part. Yeah.
no transient,
Yeah.
no coming and going.
Totally against what was granted before.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
I think we'll continue it for.
You want to continue to take a look at it,
And take
see,
a look at it better, get a better design on what you guys plan on doing.
in that time period, because I know some of the concerns look like we had maybe some junk out there, those condemned
Not at all.
units.
All that stuff's getting cleaned up
That-
most of it has been all down the property lines. We've been out there cleaning up massively, so.
So are you setting parameters with the RVs? This would be another question. What's your biggest units you're going to allow in there? Because some of those units can get pretty big as well.
Oh, well, I mean, we have to meet the setbacks, so we would not allow anything bigger than.
That would be to their tip outs, to their
Correct.
tongues. Okay.
Correct.
Some of those fifth wheel.
Yeah, we would measure everything before they moved in and got approval for them to move in there. And then obviously, if they wanted to add porches or, structures around them like Ponderosa, that would be a permitted type thing. Correct.
Yeah, if it can meet the setbacks,
Yeah.
and that probably not, but
Yeah.
I'm guessing just because it is so tight.
It is tight.
So you want 30 days, take a
Yeah.
look at it and,
Get a better plan.
so what he's going to go out. I'd say if you can get us maybe a little bit idea of what all you're thinking in terms of RVs, how your process would work, get the condemned units out of there, get some of the other garbage cleaned up. I think that helps show that
Tremendously.
we're moving that direction. And then we'll take it back up next month at our September hearing. Give me a moment.
Be the
Yeah,
8th.
I believe so. September 8th, and you'd be first right off the bat at 8:30.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
You still may want to ask. I don't know if we've got anybody else here, Randy.
Propose or anything. Okay.
Is there anyone here has a comment for or against this?
No. Okay, so we'll take that back up in September on the 8th. All right, next one we've got is exception 2025-70 for Jason Helmuth. And this petition for exception for the purpose of allowing a home-based business welding and steel fabricating in an ag district. Property is located on the north side of 700 North and 1,045 feet east of 200 West in Plain Township. Right there's petitioner's house and accessory buildings currently on two separate tracks. And I think the petitioner knows that if this would go through, he will need to combine them so that the house and the building are on the same tract. Ultimately, though, what they're looking for is a home-based business. Area should look fairly familiar. We were out in this area not too long ago with a data farm. So looking off to the east, down 700. Back around. Down there would be where the data farm location was. And back around to the petitioner's property in question right there. For this hearing, legal ad did properly appear in the newspaper and by affidavit surrounding owners were notified.
I'm Jason Helmuth, and yes, I do currently work in a steel fabricating company, and I wish to do my own, start my own business at home.
Jason, maybe a little bit more broad topic, broad subject. Are you looking at anything and everything, vehicles to custom work to?
Pretty much, yes. Whatever comes my way, whatever I can. Preferably, I would be more geared toward production work as far as supplying other companies with parts, maybe, or something like that. That'd be more what I'd be gearing toward.
Are you gonna have any outside storage?
No.
So everything will be in that building right back there where you're kind of indicating?
Yes, that's right.
Okay. How about vehicle? So I got a tractor, it needs welded or steel.
Yes, I guess that might be an issue there, or it might be something that could happen if there was a repair like that.
Okay. What's your intent on, is this a one-man show? Or are you going to have?
One-man show.
Okay.
Or at this point anyway.
Sure.
So I was told that being as I have a swimming pool that crosses the property line, that might make is that anything that might?
Ideally, we still get it deeded together. Okay. Just that way, there's no question that pool comes down. Mm-hmm. We don't run into an issue with it being separate from the house.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone here in favor of this project? Anyone here opposed?
Nothing on file.
We'll close the meeting to public comment. We'll go ahead and approve it with you combining the properties.
Is there a time limit for that, or just?
I'd say within the next 30 days.
Yeah.
Within 30 days. Okay.
And no outside storage. And if you do need outside storage, it'll have to be fenced.
Okay.
So it's not visible.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
All right, next one is variance 2025-194 for Troy Gay. In this petition for a variance which permit the construction of a residence 31 foot 8 inches from the east water line. Property is located on the east side of C29 lane and 1,223 feet southeast of C29A lane in Plain Township. Right there's the property in question. Randy, if you look at the aerial, this thing is a long, narrow lot that's kind of got a funky L shape to it. Right there is what they're proposing to build. So right now I'm looking off to the east as from the main cul-de-sac that comes down to the end of C29 lane. House is actually going to be kind of down to the southeast there. Next shot's going to show it a lot better, but just give me a perspective of what else is around here. That would be the island out in the Lake Forest. Okay. Now, right there, that channel is where they're asking to be 31 foot, 8 inches from. Should be 35. Main house will be 35 foot from the main lake. You can see it's going to be sitting up kind of the northern portion of this lot. Panning around. One house to the north, house out on the island, not really an island, peninsula. Background. Next shot's going to be down at the seawall, just kind of give you that idea. Again, if you can imagine, 31 foot back from that seawall. For this hearing, legal ad properly appear in the newspaper and by affidavit, surrounding owners were notified.
Steve Snyder on behalf of the petitioner. Currently, as you can see, it's vacant. The older residence was removed. Property's been prepared for construction. There is a sewer district easement that runs along the west side, shared with Sadler property to the west. We're working on making sure we meet their setbacks or get an encroachment agreement. In fact, there's a meeting with the sewer district tonight to confirm the encroachment agreement. But we've got water on two sides. We've got a long, narrow lot. We actually meet setback requirements on the land side. It's only from the channel that we have a concern. And if you look at the aerial, there's really no effect on anyone. The property to the east, the Ormsby property has the house set way back. We're going to be set way back too. If you look at the dimension setback from the water, it's 100 and some feet. So we've tried to preserve everybody's view, but by the time we got the house in, And with that 35-foot setback from the east, it restrained us. We managed to get it down to a 4-foot variance. That's what we're looking for. No issues of any kind.
Steve, you've been through the sewer. Any chance that they're going to say no, you may need to come back?
No, I've already met with the engineers, the attorney. We did a couple modifications to their form encroachment agreement. They went out and inspected the discharge line from the pump, and it appears everything's in order.
Thank you. Is there anyone here in favor of this project?
Yeah, I'm Troy Gay. I just want to confirm Steve handled everything. So
Okay.
if you have any questions.
Well,
Okay.
Thank you.
Anyone here opposed?
Nothing on file.
Close the meeting to public comment. Go ahead and approve it as presented. Thank you.
Okay, next hearing is exception 2025-72 for Griffith Brothers. This is a petition for exception purpose allow change and alteration of a non-conforming use by allowing the reconstruction of a residence on a tract with boat storage in an ag district. Property is located on the west side of County Road 1000 East and 2,000 feet north of 1100 North in Turkey Creek Township. Right there's property in question, Randy. If you remember right, back 2019, we granted this property approval to build about 5 or 6 storage buildings for boats. At that time, there was a house on the property. You can see that on this aerial right here. House sat up on that northeast corner. What they want to do is rebuild new house as shown back there. So back behind that barn, there's the location of the old house. And they want to rebuild. No variance is needed, but because it is an exception to use, change and alteration does require further hearings. So again, new house will be built to the north, and assumingly they know what else is on the property. So for this hearing, legal ad did properly appear in the newspaper and by affidavit, survivors were notified.
Yes, I'm Matt with MWS Construction and represent the Griffith Brothers. And we would, it's a little different than described. The old barn comes down and the house, the new home sits on top that location.
So the old white barn in the
Yes.
back deck disappears. Yep. Okay.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone here in favor of this project? Anyone here opposed?
Nothing on file.
We'll close the meeting to public comment. Go ahead and approve it as presented because you know what you're getting into.
Right. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, the next two we can take together. Same property, slightly different questions. First one's exception 2025-74 for Eugene Dime. And this petition for exception for the purpose of allowing a residence accessory building to be replaced with an oversized accessory building, 1,034 square foot, where ordinance allows 576 square foot on a lot without a principal structure in a residential district. Property is located on the north side of Ogden Point Road and 759 feet northwest of Ogden Drive in Turkey Creek Township. Along with that, is anybody here for Thyme? Before I read the second one and rattle all that off, we will bump those two. All right. With that, we will jump to the next two. Hab. Someone here for Hab? Good. Okay.
What do we got?
Okay. Next two, we can take together slightly different issues, same property. The first one we have is variance 2025-197 for Benjamin Hab. And this is a petition for a variance which allowing a pergola to remain as constructed 25 feet from the right-of-way of East Ridge Drive North. The property is located on the north side of East Ridge Drive and 0 feet east of East Ridge Drive North in Wayne Township. And along with that, then we have variance 2025-198 for Benjamin Hab. And this is a petition for a variance which permit allowing a 6-foot tall fence to remain in the street yard on East Ridge Drive. Property is located on the north side of East Ridge Drive and 0 feet east of East Ridge Drive North in Wayne Township. We're out in Willie's East Ridge. Okay, right there is the petitioner's property in question. And what the first issue is that pergola. Pergola was constructed minimum setback on septic 35 foot from the road right away. Pergola was constructed without a permit closer than minimum setback at 25. Petitioner is requesting to allow it to remain as placed. And we'll look around the area there. Give you an idea of what I'm talking about right there. Along with it, and you can see the fenced area just a little bit there, Nick, a couple shots off will show it a little better. They've also installed a fence in a street yard. Fencing should only be 3 foot tall. They've installed a fence that's up to 6 foot tall in the street yard. So they're asking that to remain as placed as well. Handing around Willie's. Different perspective showing. Let's give you an idea of where everything sits in relationship. Older subdivision, most have met the minimum setback out there. They got a couple unlicensed vehicles as well that need to be addressed. Okay, the next shot's going to show the fenced area, and that's down on the south side. Right there is the fencing. So again, that fencing should only be 3 foot tall in the street yard back to 35 foot. Obviously, it's up to 6 foot tall at that point. And around just to get more view. For both hearings, legal ad did appear in the newspaper and by affidavit. Surrounding owners were notified.
Morning.
Morning.
So a little bit of context.
Your name, sir?
Oh, sorry. Ben Hab, yep, owner. So a little bit of context. I purchased the property in 2021. All structures that are currently there and in question were there previous to me purchasing. I assume they're approximately 10 to 15 years old, not newer. When I purchased the property, it came with a long-term tenant. They are still in the property as well. I just ask, my understanding about setback rules are it's mainly concerning visibility, which I assume based on trees being closer to the road, other items being closer to the road, that these items don't impede that safety in view.
Ben, I know I'd mentioned to you, the unlicensed vehicles, the junk vehicle, the other stuff on the property that needed to be addressed. Has any of that been addressed at this point?
So I believe the vehicles have license plates on them now.
Legal plates up to date.
That's my understanding.
Okay. How about the junk vehicle in the driveway?
There is one vehicle that is currently being worked on, and it is still in the driveway.
Okay, and that would still be an issue.
Okay. So what are we here for today exactly?
We're here for the pergola and the fence. However, if there are other violations, the board can take those into consideration at this time.
Oh, okay. Got it.
And
so my understanding is the issue originally arose because the shed, right, that was over the property line. So, right, we have torn down the shed, absolutely taken care of that. The rear deck was also built similar to the other structures prior to my purchase. So I did go through the process of registering myself as a contractor in the county, drawing up plans, passing that through the health department. And right, since that was within setback, that's no longer an issue. I would just ask the board here today, happy to clean everything up. But I just ask, if there's additional issues of, plating vehicles, write me up for plating vehicles, right? If there's debris that specifically needs cleaned up, just let me know on a separate issue and we'll take care of it.
It's up to you. We do lose some motivation at that point.
Yeah. Well, the vehicles all need to be currently plated.
Yeah, and if they are, we
worked on
can.
or not.
Yeah, understood.
And we can check that. It's been plated since I was out there to do video, because there was 2 at that time. And then there was a vehicle that was torn apart in the driveway as well.
Yeah.
And, I'm not trying to be vague about the vehicles being plated, but since they're not mine, I can't give you that ultimate confirmation.
Sure.
Yeah.
As far as the pergola, it's pre-existing.
Yep.
The street yard fence, I think they put that at 6 foot to hide the junk.
Yeah, almost, if you're gonna leave it, it's completed to hide it better.
Yeah. Needs to be completely filled in.
Right, yeah, because it's not really,
It don't hide nothing.
yeah. What, was it the owner who did the improvements or the tenants? Do you know?
I don't know. I do know that my tenants are here today. So if you'd like to ask them.
Sure, yeah.
Morning, Matthew McClelland. Hi. The pergola, the back deck, the fence were all done by myself. Yes, sir. They were done approximately 8 years ago now with the permission of the previous owner. The pergola is freestanding on the deck itself. It's not attached to the house. Same with the front deck. It is freestanding. The rear deck was an addition onto an existing deck already. As far as the vehicles, everything with exception of the one that is being worked on has been tagged now. The one that is being worked on is going to be an off-road vehicle. It's being lifted. It won't be able to get out of the garage if I had it in the garage being worked on. So the only part of it that looks off is because it doesn't have wheels under it right now. And I can address that within the next week or so, have wheels back under it, so it at least looks like an operational vehicle.
And that one's plated as well?
No, not yet.
Okay, so that one would need to get plated as well, yeah.
Okay.
I think that would help.
And the fence.
Yes.
What we gonna do with that?
I can finish the fence, put the front gate on. That's not an issue. I mean, I just hadn't completed it. That's,
It would help.
Yeah, I understand why it's there. You got the stuff, but it's, yeah, without it, I can see why there would be some concerns.
And no problem building that gate. I mean, I had heard previously that would be helpful, so we can do it.
Okay.
yeah, I mean, just for the justification of the vehicles, I'm 100% military disabled. That is what keeps me occupied and kind of keeps me somewhat stable. So
As long as they're all legally plated and operational, fine. We have no, you can have as many vehicles as you want.
Yep. So, and like Ben said, the shed is gone. That was a bit of a confusion because that shed's been there since 1990 in that same location. I grew up in the house just to the north of that. So I know the original owners of the house and when they put that shed in. So that's always been a confusion on our part when.
And my understanding is the house to the right on this picture had a survey done.
Correct.
I wasn't able to find the pins, so I couldn't even confirm technically that the shed was over, but
It was, looking at the survey, because there is a copy of the survey. Looks like it was a foot over.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
That's fine.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Is there anyone here in favor of this project?
Hello.
None.
My name is Perry. Last name is Khalil Hunnell. I'm the neighbor to the right side. I did a survey, and that was because there was no survey done on the property when we bought it. And unfortunately, and this wasn't intended, my friend back there, Matt, and his wife. Unfortunately, when I did the survey, it did identify that the shed was over and that the county or the, I'm not sure what department, they said that they will have to notify the owner, which, again, I didn't want to make any waves. The purpose was for me to have my property surveyed. So Matt went ahead and cleared it, and I appreciate that. He's a great guy. I'm here to support him. And in regards to the pergola and the fencing, I have no objections. And so that's.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else in favor? Anyone opposed?
Nothing on file.
Close the meeting to public comment. We'll approve it with the restrictions that we told you. Get the gate built, and fill it in, and
Permit for the pergola.
a permit for the pergola. Okay?
Thank you.
Oh, you got another one. You got two of them. Yep.
Ready.
All right. Next one is variance 2025-199 for Thomas Poltony. And this is petition for a permit allowing, petition for a variance which would permit allowing a residential fence to remain 6 foot tall in the front yard when ordinance allows 3 foot tall. Property is located on the east side of W23 lane and 558 feet north of W23A lane in Tippecanoe Township. Right there's the property in question. Randy, we are out Backwater Gardens, Backwater Lake. So that is part of the fence right there. You'll recognize that house. We've had hearings on that property. So right here, that fencing was installed, and we are in a lake yard as well as a street yard. Fencing should only be 3 foot tall in those areas. Right there, Backwater Lake lane that goes down and around and connects back out. Facing owner on the opposite corner. Back around. The next shot's going to show you a little different perspective of the other fence. There, give you an idea of what that fence is in there. Finally, just the flip side. Right there. So again, fencing installed should be 3 foot tall. They're asking to leave it as placed 6 foot tall. For this hearing, legal ad did properly appear in the newspaper and by affidavit. Surrounding owners were notified.
So what are,
Your name's first.
my name's Tom Patonley.
Gina Petulli.
My wife. I'm not sure what we're in violation besides
being 6 foot to 3 foot, what,
Which we didn't know about.
we didn't know about, okay, sorry. I'm not sure, why does it have to be 3 foot? What is that violation?
View and visibility, so fencing.
Visibility of our yard.
Well, okay, in this case, that's where it is. But in general, front yards, 35 foot back from the water, has to be 3 foot tall. And that's to help ensure visibility of lakes, yards, both ways.
Okay.
There. Along the right of way, and in this case, may not be as.
Road. Straight turn.
Hey, you want me to finish?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay. So in this case, it may not be as crucial with the right of way, but in a street yard, again, your L road, 3 foot tall because of visibility of traffic. And, it could theoretically, if a car was coming from the south, yeah, you're not going to see pulling out right there, but it's a very narrow lane. They're not coming through there very quick. So it is a unique situation, but that's why the ordinance is in place, why those height restrictions are there.
Yeah, and we don't obstruct any water view. The only water view would be 67. Okay, you stand at his front door. You're looking right over my fence at the water. It doesn't obstruct anything, any view from him, even at his water line, because our property goes out. It doesn't obstruct even from his water line, any obstruction of view. And that would be the only person that it would obstruct. Sure.
Our thinking about when we purchased the Point property was if you're coming straight down for a 23 lane, it's a straight shot to the water.
Yeah, because
and in the winter, it's very dark, and we
put the
people
fence
don't
up
think
too,
that
and we put
that's-
lights up on each post so people know to drive straight.
Not to hit it.
Right. Not to go into the water
We've had people that come down in front of our house and literally back up
because they don't know
and
the
turn
turns.
around and go back out. There's not a lot of traffic on our road, but that does happen often just because it's not a curve. It's
Yeah, we have
really an L.
Total of 22 houses down that lane. 12 are permanent residents.
The other good thing is it's not a county maintained road.
No,
So
we maintain
that would be the other issue with as close as is.
Right.
County liability for when that gets hit in the winter by a plow or something of that nature.
Yeah, we
And
plow our
still could be
own
an issue for them, but it's not the county's issue at that point.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Is there anyone here in favor of this? Is there anyone here opposed to it?
Nothing on file.
Gonna go ahead and approve it as presented. But I think we need a survey so you know exactly where your property lines are. Okay?
Do that. And then we just bring that into the.
Yep, bring that into our office.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
And Randy, the idea is if for some reason it does encroach into the right of way, it will have to be moved.
Right.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and just read the next one because that one is off for today. Next one we had on the agenda was for Star Smith. She didn't do her notification, so I'm assuming no one's here for it, but that one will be bumped till next month automatically.
Okay. Because I don't even have a sheet for stuff.
Nope, you shouldn't have a sheet because she didn't even pick, well, she called us before ads went in, which was good. All right, with that, then the next one we can take is variance 2025-203 for Shankster Brothers. And this is a petition which permit the construction of residence addition. Shankster, anyone? This is just not a stellar day, Randy. Statistically, I think we're doing okay, but, okay. How about Prairie Township? Julie's here, I know that one. Okay. Next one we have is variance 2025-206 for Prairie and Harrison trustees. This petition for a variance would permit allowing a lean-to to be added to the west side of a building 48 feet from the road right-of-way. Property is located on the west side of Prairie Street and 0 feet south of Hovey Street in Prairie Township. That is not it. That's Shankster right there. So let me jump ahead. Right there, Atwood Fire Department. What they're proposing to do, Randy, is a lean-to. And in this case,
It's already there.
it measures through the existing building. And that minimum setback, because it's zone public use, would be 50 foot. In this case, we're at 48. But again, we're going through the building is meeting all other minimum setbacks. For this hearing, legal ad did properly appear in the newspaper and by affidavit. Surrounding owners were notified. You're on.
We had the opportunity to purchase a used generator from G&G for $10,000, and we got it and brought it. And then D&D Electric was going to hook it up, and they said it had to be covered up. So we did not have much time. So we got it covered up to protect our investment for the fire station. And
That's the bump out you're showing. in the
yes, that's
picture.
the bump out. Yep, it's already there.
Okay. Okay.
Just to cover the generator.
Yeah, I've read it.
Yeah.
You're the older one because it couldn't be exposed to the weather.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Is there anyone here in favor of this? Anyone here opposed?
Nothing on file.
Close the meeting, public comment, and go ahead and approve it.
Still need to get the permits and there's be a little fee, so.
I broke my back.
Oh, God. you-
That's what I'm walking.
Right there. All right. Okay, next one we have is exception 2025-76 for Leroy Coons. And this is a petition for exception for the purpose of allowing a home-based business harness shop to remain and allow an addition to that business. Business will be run by property owner's son, Lonnie Coons, who will live on the property in an ag district. Property is located on the south side of 1350 north and 969 feet east of 1025 west in Scott Township. Right there's the property in question. That building was a barn at one point and has been converted into a commercial building. And when we went back, looked, nope, didn't have the approvals, didn't get the permits at that point. So now they are in wanting to get it legitimized as well as add on to the west end of the building. You can see that garage door kind of there. So with that, currently, or when they at least originally came in, they were not living on the property. The indication is that the son is Leroy, is going to move into the house, and that will make this a legitimate hearing for a home-based business. Otherwise, wouldn't even have that door opened. For the hearing, legal ad was posted in the newspaper and by affidavit. Surrounding owners were notified. Area should be pretty familiar. We've had other hearings up in this area, Randy, off and on.
Oh, yeah.
So you're up.
I'm Leroy Coons, my son Lonnie here. And yeah, that's what we're here is to get it permission to continue with the business and put an addition to the building as well.
Okay, and Lonnie will be living in the house or is already?
Yes, he's a resident there, yes.
Okay, and I know when we were in, not that we don't trust you, do you have any proof of?
We do have.
Okay. Good.
Yeah. You need it at this time or?
Bring it in, we'll make copies. That way we're not taking the originals. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
If approved, one thing to keep in mind is you're probably you'll have to go through the state to get your permits to add on to the building. And probably they're going to want to look at the building to see what modifications were. So you may have to retrofit the building as well for state criteria.
Okay.
Because again, I couldn't see anywhere that was done. So get everything legitimized through the state.
Okay.
Okay.
Is there anyone here in favor of this project? Anyone here opposed?
Nothing on file.
Close the meeting to public comment. We'll go ahead and approve the petition as presented, since his son is now living there with state approvals.
Thanks, sir. Okay, next variance is 2025-208 for Terra Lock Monday. And this petition for a variance which permit the construction of a residence addition attached garage, 16 foot 2 inches from the east right of way and 9 foot 6 inches from the south right of way. Property is located on the west side of C24 lane and 0 feet north of EMS C24D lane in Plain Township. We're up on Osborne's Landing area, and right there's petitioner's house. What they're proposing to do, if you can see the site plan, add on to that a garage coming out to the south. Looking at the survey provided, the house sits actually close at, well, 1511 based off the site plan. So they're asking to be 16.2 from the right of way. So the site plan indicates that it would be offset back from the front of the house. Down there would be the main park area for Osborne's Landing. Looking down and around. Get a perspective of where we're at and what we've got. Next shot's going to be down on that side road to give you a straight shot look at what the end of this will look like. Existing shed on the property. That shed will go to make place for the new garage. Again, only thing that opens this door is sewer. That was their mound system. So without the sewer, this wouldn't even be happening. For this hearing, legal ad did properly appear in the newspaper and by affidavit. Surrounding owners were notified.
Steve Snyder on behalf of the petitioner, Matt Buertz with me, who is the contractor. The last page of what I handed out, Gary Hostetler modified that site plan to answer your question, Matt, on the offset. So we've got the exact dimensions of that garage, and it is in fact offset from the main wall of the house. The gutter actually is like 4 inches closer to the right of way than the existing house is, but not the existing overhang.
I just couldn't get the map to work between the two.
Yeah,
So,
well, that's why we had
Yep.
Gary draw it up new so you could see. The proposal is 2-car garage, 24 feet deep, 32 feet wide, attached to the house with the shed removed. And we've got a problem, obviously, with 2 rights of way. You can see that mound system required that there be a retaining wall to hold it in place. That retaining wall gets modified so you've got access to the garage. The distance from the right of way is largest on the side where the garage doors will be. The one that's closest, there won't be any access over there. It will be open yard. From looking at the criteria, we've got a congested area. There's no question about that. But when you look at where they're parking right now, we're probably creating a better situation than what exists now. We're further from the right of way than the house is, and there's no access off the south side. And we come as close as we possibly can to giving you your requested setbacks from the side road. We think there's nothing dangerous about what we're proposing.
Okay, thank you, Steve. Is there anyone here in favor of this project?
the owners.
Yeah. Anyone here opposed?
Nothing on file.
Close the meeting, public comment. Go ahead and approve it as presented.
Thank you.
All right. Next case is exception 2025-77 for Sergeant House Partners. And this is a petition for exception for the purpose of allowing the construction of an oversized residential accessory building, 52 by 68, where ordinance allows 1,200 square foot in a residential district. Property is located on the north side of Eli Lilly Road and 2,551 feet east of Warner Road in Turkey Creek Township. Right there is property in question. We're on Eli Lilly Road. Aerial gives you a good perspective where we're at along that road. Tennis court right there. Off to the east of that tennis court, they're looking at building the accessory building. Looking at the property today, that's all you see. It's pretty well overgrown. There is a small fenced-in area back in there, just for some off storage, but essentially overgrown area. Proposal is that all goes, new accessory buildings constructed, Dishner's property across the road, having some big shindig the day I was out there videotaping, because they had tents all over the place. And a new road, yes.
And a new road.
Ultimately, accessory building going right in there. Meeting all minimum setbacks, signs is the question. For this hearing, legal ad did properly appear in the newspaper and by affidavit. Surrounding owners were notified.
Steve Snyder on behalf of the petitioner, Matt Buert is with me, the contractor. I know you're familiar with this property, Randy, and you're familiar with the appearance of the main house on the south side of the road. Well, Randy Tobias wants to enclose a storage area, boats, piers, all kinds of that good stuff. He has a very large lot on the north side that butts up to the railroad. On the east side of it, we have a significant lift station for Turkey Creek Sewer District. There's also an existing pickleball or tennis court there. You can't get much more secluded than this with the green fencing that's along the roadway. We also have the Syracuse Wawasee Trail along the north side of Eli Lilly Road. We've provided adequate setback from all of that. We meet all the other setback requirements. We just don't have enough space to get everything in. Now, if you go along Eli Lilly Road and look on the north side, there's some very significant accessory buildings on the north side. The ones right along here, maybe not quite as large, but actually getting close because they've added on to some of those one-story garages with pole structures to the north side of them. The owner immediately to the west has indicated he has no problems. He'd hardly be able to see it anyway. So we're not creating anything dangerous. We're merely enclosing a storage area to get stuff inside and on site rather than hauling it off site at the end of every season. Again, adequate visibility. We just need the additional space.
Couple things, Steve. One is height is 27 feet.
Well,
just based off of the site, the drawing you provided. Okay, 25 is max in the district because it's residential. So that would be the best they could do with height.
Okay, what have you, I can't read that.
Yeah.
Let me get.
I'm to the opposite. I'm gonna take them off to read it now. And then Eve is 18, so that would have to be adjusted.
Okay. Yeah, it does say 27 feet to the ridge. And I don't see the distance to the eave, 18-foot eave.
So that would.
So there would have to be an adjustment to get it down, or we'd have to come back for another variance. I don't think they want to come back for another variance. So we'll adjust that down either by changing the pitch or reducing the sidewalls.
As long as it gets it down. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it is going to be combined to the main home.
Right. No problem with that.
Yeah, we built the house originally and then we take care of that property and we've got quite a bit of, they've continued to add more outdoor furniture and things like that and a lot of pier accessories. And so a lot of that stuff now just gets set in the driveway and then tarped up, and the owner doesn't like that. So, but we don't have any other choices at the moment. So that's why we're asking for the approval of the building.
And the drive comes straight out, doesn't it? That's why.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, the property is maintained impeccably. So, I mean, we did the work originally. The storage building is going to be built in a similar fashion. So it's a very good quality construction and have a nice look to it.
I just heard I wasn't invited to their party.
I wasn't either.
Okay. And the road was relocated.
Yeah. So anyone here in favor of this project? Anyone here opposed? Close the meeting to public comment. Go ahead and approve it as presented with the height adjustment.
Thank you.
All right. Next case is variance 2025-2212 for Armando
Rodriguez.
Thank you. Rodriguez. Petition for a variance which permit the construction of a residence addition 23 feet from the west right-of-way. Property is located on the east side of 2nd Street and 0 feet north of Clay Street in Plain Township. Right there's petitioner's house in question, and we are within Oswego. Oswego originally platted with 66-foot wide right-of-ways. We are on the corner of Clay Street and 2nd Street. And if you see that red roofed area, what they're proposing to do is put on an addition that will come out towards 2nd Street. That addition will come within 23 feet of the road right away. Again, little deceiving just because of how wide those right away. Oswego was going to be main seat at one point there. Just never came to fruition. Looking around, see the area in question. And again, 2nd Street right here, the laundromat, Brook
yeah.
Stools. So again, if you imagine that coming straight out at 23 feet to the right of way, that is the question. For this hearing, legal ad properly appeared in the newspaper and by affidavit, surrounding owners were notified. You're up.
¿Qué le digo?
Dile que si puedo hacer el puerto.
I'm his daughter.
That's all right.
I'm Iris Valera Rodriguez. He was just wondering if you could add that room onto it to make extra space for the people moving in so that they could have other rooms.
Because when I come in the first time in the court, they told me, they say, yeah, but if I want to put another bedroom, they say I have to do bigger septic. So now I do the septic and I coming over and they said you got to go to the hearing court, see what they.
Right.
So let's.
You did this in survey, right?
Yeah, and you can see the septic area that in the video, that was that cleared area to the north there. That's right up in this area. So they did quite a bit of work there. Is this area opted out of the sewer district?
I think I want to like 1624 or 1224, whatever permit does require, or
23 foot back, so as long as you're no closer than 23, that's what you're asking.
Okay.
Yep.
Nomás tiene que ser 23 porque es lo que estás pidiendo, no puede ser nada más. Nada más, 23.
93 pies per millennium. So 23 about my line and wherever the rest I got it for the house I did, right?
Yeah, and then you'll have to stay away from your septic. So when you pull your permit,
The septic that's back over, so.
so your permit will need to know what size. As long as we got those dimensions here, we're good.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Is there anyone here in favor of this project? Anyone here opposed? Close the meeting, public comment. Go ahead and approve it at 23 feet.
Thank you.
So when you come in, your closest point, so if you're going to have a drip line or overhang, that's the closest point. All right. Thank you. Yep. Okay. Okay, next one is exception 2025-79 for Crow Road. And this is a petition for a purpose allowing construction of a residence in a commercial district. Property is located on the north side of Crow Road and 0 foot west of East Wawasee Drive in Turk Creek Township. Right there's the property in question, Randy, and that property is zoned commercial. It used to be the house, used to be where a restaurant was. You'll know it. The Guide, was that the Guide? Yes, the Guide. Guide used to be there years ago. Been vacant for many years. Still zoned commercial. If you look at the area, It's mostly residential with a few spots of commercial in it. What they're looking at doing is they want to construct a new residence on this tract in a commercial district. Looking to the east there, you can see the Enchanted Hills, backside of those homes down through there. Looking to the south, down towards the Enchanted Hills pool there, homes along the channel to the south side. And back to the tract right there. You can see the pole buildings that we've had hearings on in the back. That one directly to the side, or to the east, I'm sorry, did
West.
have a hearing. East. Upside down. West. Thank you. West did have hearings for the accessory building in a commercial district. However, the other ones are zoned residential with exceptions similar to that. For this hearing, legal ad did properly appear in the newspaper and by affidavit. Surrounding owners were notified.
Steve Snyder on behalf of the petitioner. Crow Road LLC was formed by the owners on Upper Cedar Point Road for the purpose of acquiring this property, so they had control of it and control over what went in it, since they drive by it every time they go to their house. They particularly didn't want another commercial enterprise there, and that was the reason they wanted to control it. Well, they've controlled it for about 20 years now, and they're all getting tired of controlling it. They found a purchaser who wants to put a residential structure there. Storage on the first floor, residence on the second floor, meeting all the setback requirements. And the only impediment was it's still zoned commercial. If you look at the second page of what I handed out, you can see the commercial zone for this tract and the commercial zoning for the tract immediately to the west. So we do have two commercial tracts right there. You can also see the commercial tracts to the north up towards Enchanted Hills and the infamous Dollar General store. What is being proposed is shown on the site plan on the third page. And it is a single-family structure that will meet all of the necessary setbacks, more than adequate parking, and will not have an entrance coming off of East Wawasee Drive. I told the prospective owner, Chubb Griffin, that he just didn't want any kind of access coming off East Wawasee. It's simply too dangerous right there. He agreed the access will be off of Crow Road only, and everything else will be open or landscaped. But we don't want to block that intersection of East Wawasee and Crow Road. That's a busy intersection. That will remain open from a visibility standpoint. I know Matt's concern is he wants to get rid of the commercial zone. Well, if we get rid of the commercial zone, there's still one right next door to us because nobody's petitioning to rezone that. And it is a pole structure that was established originally for a lawn care business. What the proposed owner will do, he'll enter into a restrictive covenant on this property that it could never be used for any commercial use and would only be used for a single-family residence with storage underneath. No changes without the approval of the Board of Zoning Appeals. That solves any problem, both for the owners of Crow Road LLC who wanted to control it, and from a planning standpoint that we're not going to have any issues. That would be a covenant that would run with the land. Couldn't be modified, couldn't be used for commercial purposes without approval of the Board of Zoning Appeals.
Steve, it's not that I want to get rid of commercial. Yeah, actually, probably a good spot for a restaurant if they wanted to put one there. It's more of the long-term impact that every time he does something, we got to go back. I mean, the proper way would be get to zone residential, so we're not jumping through the hoops like we had up on Cherokee Drive. We've had a number of them. Do it right from the go.
I don't argue with that, except that we're in the construction season and it's time to get started. If you want to condition it on the new owner coming back and petition to have it rezoned, that's a 60-day process. We were too late to get into the plan commission hearing when we filed this one. That would have put us off until November.
No way, Steve. We could have got you September.
No.
Yeah, I looked at the deadlines.
We don't want to wait until September and then an October approval by the commissioners. We can do it this way. We can put the covenant in. If you want him to come back later and petition to rezone it to residential, fine, we'll do that. This is a specifically authorized use in a commercial district. We just want to get started with construction tomorrow.
You know where I'm coming from. I've said enough.
The other thing is, it's new construction. The chance of him coming back within the next 10 years wanting to change something is going to be much more remote than all of those other ones that you hear on a routine basis.
I'll argue that, Steve. I'll pull the permits. Don't forget something or need a deck or
Well,
pool or a shed or
It's the golden opportunity to get a building there that everybody wants.
Yeah, I could put the condition of, after it's built, come back in and get it rezoned.
Or let them pull the permits and then within 30 days file a rezoning hearing. That would take care of that as well.
We'll come in and file a petition for rezoning whenever you want. We just want approval today so we can get started.
That would be better at least.
Yeah, that's better than, okay. Is there anyone here in favor of this project?
Wait, ask him why. He's probably building it.
Exactly. So to compound on what Steve, my name's Kurt Hersey, to compound on to what Steve said, Mr. Griffin actually bought a house I built just down the street too. And so it satisfies a lot of all of his needs.
Poor shape, he has to move already.
Yeah, it satisfies all of his needs. So I understand Matt's concern with, coming back again in the future and in the future. So this is why we're at this stage. Just it's not meeting everything on his current house, and it's a small lot down on the other house. So this is right in the area. I don't foresee, I've worked for Chubb since he bought into this area. I don't foresee him coming back and needing anything additional in the near future, but we would like to try to beat the weather too. That's very, very
Kurt,
important.
you understand as a builder where we're coming from, when you come in to pull that permit for a deck and we say it's zone commercial, now you're out.
Absolutely. Yep. And Chubb knew that buying this property, because we did have the conversations, and then Steve and I had some conversations too. I don't feel that it would be necessary to rezone it because I think we're going to satisfy all of his needs at that time. And if we needed to change anything in the future, we would have more time to process those steps. If the goal is just to shorten the process down, I don't think we need to
avoid hearings for us and you guys. So.
So, but the key is to get moving. The weather comes pretty quick, and that's a harsh side of the lake to work on. So,
okay.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Anyone opposed? Close the meeting, public comment. Go ahead and approve it as presented with the condition that they get it rezoned.
You have a timeline that you want to see that happen?
60 days to file.
That works. You have copy? Okay, good. Yep. All right. Next two, we can take together, slightly different questions, same property. First is exception 2025-80 for Steve and Jackie Saylor. This is petition for exception for the purpose allowing construction of an oversized accessory building, 2,432 square foot, when ordinance allows 1,200 square foot in a residential district. Property is located on the north side of D18A1 lane and 193 feet north of D18B lane in Turkey Creek Township. Along with that, we have variance 2025-213 for Steve and Jackie, and this is petition for a variance which permit the construction of a residence accessory building 23 feet from the south right-of-way. The property is located on the north side of D18A1 and 193 feet north of D18B lane in Turkey Creek Township. Right there is the petitioner's property. We're up off of Dewart Lake, the old camp property at one point. You know where we're at. Okay. What they're proposing to do is a detached accessory building that will be placed on the property. Right there, that tree line is actually the south line of a right of way, and you'll see that a little later. Panning around, that's one petitioner's main house right there. The other house is actually on a separate tract of ground. We're on a separate tract right here, so if you look around. Next shot's gonna be outside. Now I'm outside their property looking at where the variance is being requested. That tree line is the same tree line that we saw inside the property. And again, they're wanting to go within 23 feet of that. Obviously not opened, very difficult to open it. And I don't know that it ever was opened even back when the camp or the church owned it. Yeah, I don't believe it was. For this hearing, legal ad did properly appear in the newspaper and by affidavit. Surrounding owners were notified.
My name is Steve Saylor. This is my wife, Jackie. Besides this property here, what we're gonna do with the house, we also own the rest of the property, which is on a separate lot. We're gonna move that modular home onto that other property. And then we want to, on top of the basement, will be like a workshop. My wife wants to get back into pottery and stuff. So we're going to put her pottery studio in there, and the rest of it's going to be for storage. I want to get my stuff that's stored outside back indoors so it doesn't deteriorate.
Good thing, huge tract of ground. It's in 3 different tracts, but it's a big piece of ground.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's a big area.
It is a big area. So.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Is there anyone here in favor? Anyone opposed?
Nothing on file.
Nothing on file. Go ahead and approve it as presented. Thank you.
When you guys are ready, just come on and get the permits.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Next case is variance 2025-214 for William Kopp, and this is a petition for a variance to permit the construction of a residence addition open deck 22 feet from the water's edge. Property is located on the west side of Grand Boulevard and 0 feet east of Wawasee in Turkey Creek Township. There's the aerial of the shot. Next, let me jump ahead. Right there is the petitioner's property in question. You can see the patio area right through there. What they're wanting to do is come out with a deck, 6 by 32 with steps. That'll be within 22 feet of the water's edge. You can see other open decks down there close, similar to this. And again, just envision decking coming out to within 22 feet of the water's edge and open. For this hearing, a legal ad did properly appear in the newspaper and by affidavit. Surrounding owners notified.
Kurt Hersing on behalf of them. So it's pretty simple. We want to bring the new deck coming across. That's where our setback issue is, coming on this short edge here. This will actually be deck as well, but be a platform and be down within the 12 inches of grade. And that's to cover those pavers that you see in there. There's a large tree that's really made it uneven, and they're just trying to make that safer right there. The other thing that the deck's going to do is going to protect the front of the house, exposed foundation that's there too. So we can kind of block that off and keep animals from going in and out. But it's a pretty straightforward request that matches what everyone has.
Not covered or enclosed, totally open.
No, totally open. So there'll be a little bit of steps that come down, obviously, to the platform, but for the most part, it's just wide open. We'll obviously have to have some railing around.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Now, see, if this was zone commercial, they'd be out another month.
Yeah.
Because we'd have to. Sorry.
And no one here, anything?
No, nothing on file.
We'll go ahead and approve it as presented.
That's it. So you've got the ones that didn't show. We've got Shanksters, Diamond, and Irwin. Do you want to bump them to tomorrow or continue them 30 days?
Continue 30 days.
All right. We will contact them, let them know, and that will be to our September meeting. Other than that, we are all done. I was being half serious. You know.